How you doing, everybody? We're gonna get into Tim Pool's Culture War. These are actually pretty damn interesting, and it's cool because they get to let loose a little bit, get into some hot topics. And I think right now they're questioning whether feminism has destroyed the West. Myron Gaines, a couple of the other regulars on there. We'll see what they say.
Maybe I'm just jumping the gun, but I was just thinking about if we want to go into dating stuff, I think maybe we'll come back to it. But and the question of feminism, the one thing that I really pisses me off, women won the right to vote without civic responsibility, and so
they shouldn't have the right to vote.
You can make the argument.
Repeal the 19th.
I think it's fine to say women should have the right to vote. However, we got to look at the context in the United States, and that's women do not have an obligation to die in war that men do, but women can vote overwhelmingly for Democrats promoting these wars, and then men are left on the hook for a war they tend not.
You know what's crazy is I say that all the time. Tim hit the nail on the head. Women, they have the right to vote, but they can't get conscripted, meaning that they can't get drafted to serve in the military. A lot of women volunteer. Yep, got it. But the point he's making that's bigger than that is that women, particularly Democratic women, and we got some like Nikki Haley as far as like war hawks on the Republican side as well, they tend to overwhelmingly vote to send men off to die in wars. It's insane. They know dang well they can't get drafted, but when you look at the voter percentage for in favor of conflict, women vote yes way more often than no. It's insane.
To vote for, that's fucked up.
So,
Language.
sure,
I'm glad we're on this topic. Repeal the 19th. I was going to say that earlier when she was yapping, but that's fine. Yeah, repeal the 19th.
I think only landowners should vote. Let's go back. Let's go back to pre-Civil War. Try to vote now, Myron.
Women shouldn't be able to vote.
I think we have two issues here, right? Number one, the vote has never actually been tied to military service. It's typically citizenship and age. Are usually kind of the two main things that we've always used for voting. I would be totally fine with us having an amendment where we add women to selective service. I have no issue with that whatsoever, right? And I think equal strokes.
Always the strong feminist that wants women to get drafted.
The issue is that when it comes to voting, there are going to be topics that uniquely affect men and uniquely affect women. In this case, war does uniquely affect men right now, which might be unfair. But in the case of some...
If war affects men, then it affects women. You're going to be left with the weaker men, and your offspring are going to be weak. IQ is probably going to be lower. It affects you too, ladies.
Like abortion and birthright control and all these sort of things, these disproportionately affect women, right? And so when we're talking about like who gets the right to vote, is it because of like certain topics uniquely affect one gender than another? That's
the other crazy thing is that how like the media has spun it up in the last, I don't know, 30 years as to the right to take your baby's life is a choice. We call it free choice. We call it pro-choice. We get to choose what to do with our bodies. In reality, you're just killing a baby. That's what you're doing. Let's call a spade a spade. And you know what? And if they voted yes for that, like that's what I want to do, just call it what it is. And you know, I'll say go ahead. I believe in less regulations and stuff, but you got to call a spade a spade. Be honest about what you're doing in that.
not how we've ever tied the right to vote. It could be landowners. It could be multiple things. In America, though, we seem to mostly decide age and citizenship.
But the problem I have is that Democrats have been substantially more likely to vote for war, to promote war, particularly in Ukraine. Republicans have been pressuring Trump not to be involved. His base split over the Iran issue. Millennial women are about 70% voting Democrat. So you have this phenomenon in the millennial to Gen Z younger generation where women are disproportionately voting for a war they have no responsibility in, or I should say a limited responsibility in. And it's crazy to me that half the population can vote to send the other half to die. And that's equality.
Yeah.
So I'm a millennial
Amen.
woman, and I am married to a veteran, and both of us are very anti-war. He is anti-war as somebody who went over there. I think that to pin the power of the military-industrial complex, which is a very powerful force, on women being able to vote is wild. But I also understand
that's a mischaracterization of what I said.
I think I was talking more about what Myron said than what you said. I understand also that this is like Myron's whole thing, but so you have to say like women can't.
I think Myron's, I think he seems like a stand-up dude, but he might have been making fun of 20-year-old girls for so long in Miami that it might be difficult for him to articulate a better argument than he's doing. He's coming in kind of hot, and I know he could do better than this. He's a smart guy, but he has to understand he's on a different platform right now, and you got to bring it with some better facts. Then you got to get back in the kitchen, unless you're just coming for the clicks.
Vote, and then you get attention, and you also kind of act like you invented misogyny, which you didn't. Like, it's been around for a very long time. These are not hot takes. These are like very.
Kat clearly had a goal coming into this. She wanted to come at Myron, and she started early.
Old, archaic.
But he is in the top 10, right?
Because he goes really hard and he gets a lot of attention for it, and then there are these men, sadly, who listen to you, who I think are lonely. And I love men. I'm not like a man-hating woman. I love men. And I think that a lot of men have been left behind in a lot of ways. And I understand that. But I don't think that blaming all of your problems, if you do blame all your problems on women, then that could be the reason why you don't have one.
Oh, there's another group of people that Myron blames his problems on, and it's not women.
Well, I want to let Myron respond, but I guess I want to pose this question.
Tim.
What is the bigger threat, feminism or misogyny?
I'll say this, though. I don't think they blame most of their problems on women. I think they complain about women, but from what I understand, their message typically to young men and men in the dating pool is to better yourself. So, then you have a better opportunity with the opposite sex.
What's worse for society?
So when I say feminism, I feel like things like I have the right to vote, I have a job, I'm a participating member of society, which is different than hating men. So it kind of depends how you.
Well, do you hate women, Myron? I'm not just more curious.
Sometimes. Actually, no, I'm just kidding. Look, the reality is that when it comes to feminism, etc., women are stupid. Let's be honest about this. And the reason why, right? It's not just, and she said it herself, misogyny.
Again, let's hear him out, but he's got to come with something a little better than that.
Is something new? She's right. In ancient China, to the Middle East, to Eastern Europe, everybody knew that women are. So we need to make them second-class citizens. So that's why they don't have the right to vote and do a lot of stuff. And then now
what an eloquent argument! I never could have come up with something that intelligent.
She's like
as
woman
a
right now.
stupid
Holy
woman.
crap! I let her speak, and now she won't let me speak. So it's interesting to me how she said, "Oh yeah, this isn't something new." Yeah, you're right. Everyone since ancient times knew that women are. We need to make them second-class citizens. Here's the craziest part. They lived in other.
I'm not editing that out, by the way. That's they're doing that themselves.
Ends of the world, and they still realize the Asian dudes, ling bing ding, all the way to the fucking Mohammeds in the Middle East, to the Eastern Europeans of Slav, they all knew, damn, women are stupid. We need to go ahead and put them in the kitchen. Now they're out the kitchen, and what's going on?
Which civilization of all the ones that you listed do you like the most? Do you like modern America, or do you like Saudi Arabia, or do you like, ancient Japan? Which one do you like the most?
I think what he's doing is taking them off their game by coming in so hot that they can't even think straight. And, maybe I'm giving them too much credit, but it's working.
Well, look, I like any society that has women under control, and right now we don't, which is why shit is fucked up.
So why don't you move to Saudi Arabia? They don't have the right to vote. They can barely drive. Like what?
It's a great place.
Do you want Sharia law?
No,
That's
Myron.
true. They can drive now. They can drive.
Like,
They can drive, and that's bad.
Wait, are you? But be
So
honest.
you think that Saudi Arabia is a better country than America?
Good question.
When it comes to handling women, yes. Yes, when they come to
Well,
handling
just overall,
women,
don't change the question.
And
Don't run away
crime
from
is
it.
less in Saudi
Do you
Arabia,
think?
though.
well, they have less crime.
You were talking about these global things about how when women are oppressed, that's been the societal trend. And so I asked you, modern America decided, along with a whole bunch of Western democracies, and I think you like Western civilization,
I do,
that
I
that's
do.
a bad idea. And so the question is, why is America so great if Saudi Arabia's got this one thing so well to what? Shouldn't that be the great
Well,
country?
you could be better in different ways, right? Like
So Muslim
what
theocracies got it.
No, I didn't say. No, I didn't say that.
Oh.
What I'm saying is, here's the problem, right? When you
It's interesting because this woman's a feminist, and usually feminists don't even touch the topic of Islam. That's like taboo. They're usually in support of. They keep it shut, even though it goes against everything that Western feminists believe. They usually just nothing to see here.
when you have women having too much power, it creates a lot of issues because women are communitarian by nature. right? They don't know what the fuck they want to do. They can't even decide what they want to eat, let alone pick their own partners. That's why the divorce rates are through the fucking
Wait,
roof.
time out.
That's
You
why
guys
marriage
admit
is
it's
down at
hard
the
for women to
dumpster.
choose what to eat, though, Kat. Is that true? Can we at least
You know?
agree on
Well,
that?
yes, but it also could be all this nicotine gum I'm always chewing.
Okay, I just-
like never that hungry.
That is typically my girlfriend. It is hard for women to choose what to eat. I think you're 100% right about that.
Sure, but we also are like negating the fact that like some of the biggest breakthroughs in ecology science come from the humanitarian approach that women have. You know, DNA was discovered by women. So like the issue is that women are decently valuable. When we talk about women being
that true?
stupid, men are stupid all the time too. Men are the like morons that are ending up in fucking jail.
Men are simple. We're not stupid. We're simple. It's different. Basic things. Lots of common sense on the man's side. I'm not a woman hater, but we express more common sense. Women think more with their emotions. A little more logical. We're trying to get to a solution. Women sometimes just want to air it out. They just want to talk about stuff without presenting solutions, and nor do they want you to present a solution. So you're just like, yep, that's great. Well, how about if we did? And they're like, no, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. Okay, so why are you telling me? Why are you telling me this problem if you don't want me to help you solve it?
All the time because they can't like stop
Wait,
punching
not
shit.
you made a good point. I
Hey,
think.
hold on. Is Frederick Meischer a woman? DNA was first identified by Swiss chemist Friedrich Meischer.
Yeah, they always try to take credit
stole
for
it
our stuff.
from?
They also
Look at
say
that.
what? They always try to say white.
I mean, look, I said it as soon as she said it. DNA was discovered by women. Possibly, but I hadn't heard that. It's funny, he fact checked quick, man. Tim getting a little more hardcore as he gets older.
It was made by women. No, it wasn't. It was made by men as well. Women don't invent anything. They don't contribute to anything besides, like, to be honest, the only real value women have is reproductive
I
value.
contribute more to
We're
the
gonna be honest.
economy than you do, Myron, just objectively.
Wait. I want to say I'm on Kat and not to her side though. That don't you think women are equally valuable to society though? You don't think so?
Dude, if you remove sex and reproduction, they provide almost nothing.
Yeah, but those are
gonna be
we
honest.
wouldn't have life without those things.
Sure.
So don't
Well, sure. But I want to be clear about this. We don't need them. Like, here's the thing: women need us. We don't need them. We need them to propagate
They have our
society for the
babies,
next
dude.
generation. That's what my point. I said outside of reproduction. So, like, if we want to have kids, yes, we need them, but they need us for everything. So the reality is, men bring far more value to society than women do. The only real value they provide is reproductive value. Because let's be honest here, you guys don't give a fuck about what they got to say. You guys are here for us. Nobody cares about what women got to say. They're the suckiest podcasters. Female YouTubers suck. Nobody gives a fuck about their opinion. We're just there
Damn,
to
look
look
at that camera
Isn't
setup.
one of some of the largest podcasts, all Candace Owens, Call Her Daddy, like some of the largest podcasts are
And
female run.
to be fair,
Candace Owens is an
hold on.
exception.
It doesn't matter if you don't like them. The point is that they're highly successful. So maybe you guys don't like to listen to women, but that doesn't.
I don't know. Are people actually listening to Call Her Daddy? I thought that was just propped up by mainstream media as like this slick little covert action to get women more radical than they already are. That's just my thoughts.
I mean, that broader society doesn't. For example, take women out of the workforce. You've nuked your economy overnight. It's done.
No, actually, it was the reverse. And trying to get women into the workforce doubled the price of everything. People used to live in like the 60s, in the 50s on one income. You could be a janitor at a school, family of 5, dog, own a house, car, maybe 2, just fine. But then you introduced, frankly, I think there's more women in the country than men, even a larger workforce population. Boom, everything just inflated. And women are also the consumers of society. I don't buy anything, but I got an Amazon package outside my door every single day. So, I consume some energy drinks. That's about it.
They contribute, even if we're being mild and conservative, 30%.
Well, that'd be
probably
good.
around 50%.
That'd be good for the airline pilot industry, wouldn't it? Wouldn't that save us a lot?
I don't know. It seems like there's a lot more going on with the airline pilot
Yeah,
industry than just women.
But women are usually taking social jobs like teachers and nurses and stuff like
Yeah,
this.
we need those jobs.
We do, but we need petroleum engineers more.
I would disagree.
I don't know
We need
about
to raise
that.
our children.
I mean,
I
I
would like
think
literate
Abolish
children.
Public schools.
Ooh, that's a hot take.
Public schools are shit.
But we should still be teaching our kids. We want our kids to be literate.
I agree. And I think
We need
women are
nurses,
great teachers. when
right?
it
Like
comes to
every
basic
one of
knowledge
you
stuff.
has been to a hospital, and you're probably super grateful that there's an entire help industry oriented at making sure that your ass doesn't die. Especially a lot of your fat asses don't die.
Indeed.
Yeah.
I can feel the
I tell you what, yeah, you could cut the tension in a knife in that room, and Myron's just sitting there like a troll, smiling at the world. This is very fascinating. I'm definitely gonna be reacting to a few more of these and getting further, see if they get any good topics in this specific one. not a lot of fruitful discussion so far, just kind of some ad hominem attacks and some made up facts about women discovering DNA and things like that. But if you made it this far, I really appreciate you. Like and subscribe. Come back for more.